Squad 17 is taking shape. The University of Miami football team's early enrollees are here at the U on campus, locked in as Hurricanes. Who better to break down some of the newest games, some of the most decorated Hurricanes of all time? We've got some of the best players to ever rock the orange and green coming right here to give you their thoughts on the Canes, as well as share their memories of their first few days at the U. Sitting right here, Jonathan Vilma, one of the best linebackers to ever do it at the U, national champion in college, Super Bowl champion, 3-time Pro Bowler, top 15 pick. List goes on and on. Jonathan, thanks a lot for coming out.
No, anytime.
When you look back on your first day as a Hurricane, what do you remember about when you first stepped foot on campus?
I remember how big the other guys were. That was the first thing I noticed. I was, 6 feet, 195 pounds, soaking wet. And I saw DJ Williams. He was about 6 feet, 230 pounds. I saw some of the other linebackers. They were already 230 pounds. So I was like, God, these guys are big, And I was like, then I saw Najee Davenport. And I was like, Jesus, these are some big men. So, that was the first thing I noticed. And then, once you get over that, then you realize how fast everyone is. We start running and we started doing the training. And I was like, oh man, I called my dad up and I was like, Dad, I got some work to do. I really had some work to do.
So what advice do you have to a guy who comes in, and maybe he's not as big as those other guys? What did you do to get up to that size? Because clearly it worked out for you.
Yeah, well, just keep working. What I lacked in size or ability, I made up for it in effort. I made up for it in passion, the sacrifice. So, for guys that are a little bit smaller, undersized, you make up for it in other ways. And, frankly, that's actually what helped me. Always kind of having a little chip on the shoulder. That's what I had coming in my freshman year and wanting to prove that I belonged. So it's always a matter of trying to prove yourself.
Well, let's get into some film here. Brian Polendey, 6'5", 230-pound tight end, Denton, Texas, Guyer High School. Jonathan, take it away. Let's see what you think.
Yeah, Brian, I really like. One is his attitude. We'll watch him block a little bit. First one is a couple passes here, but, Brian is 6'5", 230. He reminds me of Jeremy Shockey when he came in, where he was 6'5", 230, and still had room to put on some beef and some weight. And you see his height here, it really stands out, especially in high school. Now, the thing I liked is watching him block. You get the attitude, and that's why I mentioned Jeremy Shockey, because Shockey had that attitude when he blocked, he didn't just want to block you, he wanted to really just own you and take advantage of you. And you see that when Brian's trying to block these guys. He's just bigger than them, and you see him, he's about to take them down right there. I mean, that's effort. And you can take a guy like a Brian, and you don't have to coach that anymore. You don't have to coach the toughness and the tenacity. You just work on his technique, his hands, his ability, and getting bigger and stronger. So, a guy like him, I love to see how he's going to perform at this level in college. The way he gets after players, it's not about that anymore. For him, it's going to be the technique. And then, of course, getting a little bit faster, getting a little bit bigger. His hands are good. I know we see him blocking a lot here. We can fast forward to him actually catching a ball, and you'll see that he has good hands. He understands. He has a good feel for route recognition. You see him dropping in the zone in the flat here, and then he goes and gets upfield. Like the little things that we talk about when you're looking at a player that people may not notice, as soon as he catches the ball, he's going to go and he's trying to get upfield. His eyes, his body is trying to get upfield right now, as opposed to stringing it out. That tells me that that's someone that's very aware of, one, the down and distance, aware of the situation, and he's smelling that end zone. So guys like that are aware of the situation, he's trying to get in the end zone, he gets there. You want that, because that's a mentality. You can't coach someone, you can tell them, but you can't coach someone when it's crunch time to say, hey man, we need you to take on 2-3 defenders and just drag them into the end zone like he did right there. So I like him. I'm excited for him to come in.
It seems like blocking is something that a lot of people always want tight ends to do more of, regardless of the level. How rare is it to see a guy his age be a willing blocker at that position?
It's very rare, because a lot of the guys in high school, they're thinking, well, if I catch the ball and I have 50, 60, 70 catches, then that's how I'm going to get to the next level, and I'm going to go to a big D1 program. But a guy like Brian, he understands, I want to be the complete package. And when the good scouts, I call them the good scouts, when they notice the guy's ability to not only catch the ball but block as well, that lets you know he's a complete player, and we're trying to get those. So imagine the matchup problem he's going to be for a safety, when he can actually block out the end man on the line of scrimmage, box out a guy 5-yard out, 10-yard out. He can box him out and get that first down.
So another area that has a lot of high school talent, obviously South Florida is a big one. Texas is another big one also.
Definitely.
Obviously, Brian has played in Texas. How much does it help coming in to have played against elite level talent at the high school level?
Oh, it helps a ton. You look at Bubba Franks back in the day. Sure. He was a Texas kid, and when he came in, he was ready to go because the programs in Texas, they're very sophisticated. They have spring ball like we had spring ball in Florida, and they get after it. So getting a guy from Texas, you know that he's going to come in. He'll be ready to play.
Jonathan Vilma on Brian Polendey. Jonathan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.